Welcome to the Books and Martinis podcast.
I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy.
And this is your go-to book podcast,
where we lift, empower, and spotlight authors.
Grab your martini and follow along.
And don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to our podcast. I'm Priya.
And I'm Mercy. Welcome, everybody. And most of all, welcome, Judy. Judy, cheers to
Cheers,
you.
Judy. Cheers.
Thank
So
you
happy
for
to be
being
here
with us. What's everybody drinking?
A martini, apple juice.
Morning water. Trying to get my 64 ounces in.
I love it. I'm having seltzer water with fresh blueberries.
Ooh, it's pretty, by the way. I love the purple.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
Judy, I'm so excited you're here.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
just happy she's here. Oh, good.
Yes.
Good.
So on the screen and in your ears is Judith McLaughlin. Welcome, Judith. We're so excited to have you here for another great episode of Books and Martinis. And we are featuring your book, Summer on Butterfly Bay. And so that you guys know, there are two books that we're featuring on our podcast between now and July. And the second book is top 5, just really quick, but we'll talk about that later.
Absolutely.
So let's kick it off with Judith's bio. Okay. So released in 2024, Summer on Butterfly Bay is a perfect summer read, and it really, really is. And it's one of our featured books for May, kicking off May. And Amazon #3 parent and adult child new release bestseller, the winner of 3 2024 Zibby Awards, including Best Beach Read, Best Book for the Animal Lover, and Best Book for the Dreamer. The fifth top-selling book at Thunder Road Books in Spring Lake, New Jersey in 2024. This book is just an amazing story. Say it again.
Goals.
Goals, yes.
Goal. I love it. Yes.
Goals.
And that pet.
Yes.
Is KOB. Is that how you
KOB.
him?
Yep. KOB.
I wasn't sure if it was KOB or Cobb.
Or I think people have done it different ways. I think somewhere in the book I actually say KOB, like KOB, but I know my readers have all thought of Kobe. Or like Kobe Bryant, right. KOB is what I said, or Cobb. I've heard a lot of Cobb as well.
Okay,
but you know how that goes.
KOB.
When you identify a character that you're reading in your own way, you keep it that way for the whole book.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Your own imagination takes on.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like all the big successful books, there's some kind of like animal or like pet featured in the book. And so this is just like icing on the cake. And the fact that you even got an award for that is amazing. Yeah. So why don't we kick it off, and why don't we tell our readers a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Judy McLaughlin. I've been writing forever. I think the first book I ever wrote was called The Bunny and His Eggs. And I think I wrote that when I was 6. And I love to tell the story because, I've always been happiest with glue and paper and markers and staplers and things like that. So I used masking tape to make the binding, and I stapled it. And I thought, oh my God, I just made a real book. This is a bound book. And I was so proud of that book. So we still have it today. So writing's just been something that's just in my blood to do. I went to Villanova, where I was an English major, because I just like to be immersed in books and reading and talking about books. And really, if we could do this all day, I'd be very happy. And Summer on Butterfly Bay is my 3rd adult novel, but I also have done poetry books and some middle grade books and chapter books. I have a little Mackenzie Good chapter book series as well.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, we need to share more about that. So when we post this, we'll definitely share links and the summary for those other books. And I love the fact that you started right off bat with your book from when you were little.
Yeah.
Masking tape.
Yeah, I think we've all done that in class at some point.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the name of my book.
Well, and I'll have to say, my book was not from class. It wasn't a school project.
I
was
at home.
When my mother, gave me a desk filled with papers and masking tape and markers and crayons and things, I was so happy. Leave me alone for hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. And here you
Creating was
are
always the
now.
thing that made me very happy.
I
Yes,
love that. I
yes.
love that. I'm the same way. I love office supplies. That's it. Give me markers and give it all to me because I love it. And my youngest daughter is exactly the same. So we used to go to Office Depot or Office Max and just look around and see the latest pens and the latest markers. And I
And
get
little
you.
stickers to put on your
Yes,
book.
yes, yeah.
Yeah,
We love that.
me
And
too.
you're a mother of three girls,
I am.
just like
My
me. That's
daughters are
wonderful.
about to be 31, about to be 28 and 25. My oldest daughter was just married.
Wow. Oh, yes. I
Wow.
saw the pictures on Instagram.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
Yes,
you.
and you mentioned that her let me see, her bridal shower was
Oh,
martinis
yeah.
and
So
bikinis.
her favorite drink is a dirty martini. And
Love
so
it.
we themed her entire bridal shower around that. And so her bridal shower was a bride in a teeny bit.
That's what it is.
And to
That's
go
so
along
cute.
with a bride in a teeny bit, I thought that was, I mean, I don't know. I get these again, creative ideas, and I had to crochet olives. So I crocheted olives for about 2 months.
Three a day, right?
3 a day. What are you doing
That
with
was
your
your
life if
line.
you're not crocheting 3 olives a day?
So
I read
how
that.
tiny were they? Were they like
They
really
were like
tiny olives?
actual size olives. I started off, the first olives I did were oversized jumbo olives, and I thought
Yeah.
I'm never going to get enough done. So then I had
Yeah.
to
Right.
take, I call it's the design, but I always call it the recipe. I had to take the crochet recipe and reduce it to make life-sized small regular olives. And I must have crocheted, I don't know, hundreds, 150 olives. And we used
Wow.
them to decorate, and I put them in I got real olives and the fake olives and a cute little pick and made these favors for everybody.
Oh, how
Wow. That's
cute.
so clever. And I
And then we
love
got
the
a giant
theme.
sized martini glass, and I filled it
Yes.
with ice, fake ice, and it was, guess the number of pieces of ice in the martini glass for a prize, all martini based. She was very happy.
I love that.
Oh,
Would
nice,
you
nice.
believe my girls? I have a 31-year-old,
Oh,
I have a 29-year-old, and I have a 27-year-old. So
that's
about the same. And my middle daughter all three of them will be getting married soon. But first, the middle one's getting married this November.
oh,
And
congratulations.
thank you. She just went to a bridal shower this weekend,
Okay.
and it was bikinis and martinis.
Oh, that's so
That
funny.
was so cute. It
Nate,
was in
is this
Miami
like a
Beach.
going theme? Is this what the bridal
Must
season is
be.
looking like?
It must be. It must be.
Well, I do know, I mean, not in my day, certainly, but now every
Right.
every every party is themed.
Everything's themed. I did
Yeah.
everything themed for years. I think before it was a thing, I already
Yeah.
had themes because for my girls' birthdays and for every event and everything, I always had themes. It was a fun thing for me.
I
Um,
That's funny. You said
I love it.
You did a Cinco de Mayo last night.
Yes.
My youngest daughter Maggie is her birthday's April 26th, but somehow we always had her party in and around Cinco de Mayo. So I
Oh,
changed it to
fun.
Cinco de Maggie. So we had
Oh, how
a lot of
cute.
theme
Talk
parties for
about
her
themes.
for
Oh,
Cinco de
that's
Maggie.
so fun. Oh, I love that. I love that. Yeah. So last night out of the blues, I decided I'm just gonna do Cinco de Mayo. So I called my girlfriend. They live like a block away. And I said, "What are you guys doing for dinner?" She said, "I don't know." I'm like, "Let's do Cinco de Mayo, tacos and tequila sound good." She's like, "At what time?" I'm like, "All right."
I'll be
So
there.
I ran to our local grocery store. I bought everything. I told my husband, "Go outside and pick some roses. I want to put red roses around the table with all the brown and all this ceramic and stuff." It was like perfect. It was
Oh,
all planned within 2.5 hours.
Where was our
We
invite?
had a
We were
blast.
invited.
Sorry, you had to be within a block. She took a golf cart over. That's how quick they were here. And then we just played dominoes until, I don't know,
I
early
love
this morning,
it.
I guess. But
I
it was
love it.
great. It was great.
Okay.
So tell me about your book. Tell me
So
about Summer on Butterfly Bay.
Summer on Butterfly Bay, I always like to start with this concept, an inciting incident or whatever I think it's going to be. And so I've got these two sad characters, one who lost her husband and recognizes she's got to move on, but doesn't know how. How do you move on after grief? And is there a timeline? And I truly don't think there is. I mean, I think everyone has their own timeline. And so she's got this sort of overbearing mother who says, now is the time. You need to get out of this grief, as if that's such a thing.
Mm.
So she goes to Butterfly Bay, sort of to appease her mother, but in her heart of hearts knows she's got to shake things up a little bit. And then there's a guy, a little bit of a narcissist, who somehow has
hot.
his priorities mixed up. And he thinks, that money and success and fancy things are going to get him where he needs to be. So he winds up renting the biggest, best house on Butterfly Bay. And don't you know?
Which has a name. The
Yes.
house itself has its own name.
Yes.
And he wants to make the house, if I'm not mistaken, he wants to make the house the house
the it
of
house.
Butterfly Bay,
Yes.
as opposed to being in the Hamptons.
In the Hamptons. He thinks let's give some love to New Jersey now. So, and also he's got too many demons in the Hamptons. His mom was a maid and worked in the Hamptons. And so he's got things he's trying to avoid from the Hamptons. So he's going to go ahead and change things. Highmore is the house. And he's going to go ahead and change things and make this the it house. And lo and behold, this is also the house the mother has rented for the daughter. So can two people share a house? And can it be three people if he has a girlfriend? And who's going to agree to that?
Yeah, that's like Three's Company.
Yeah.
Remember the old TV show? So
Yeah.
what inspired the story?
My imagination. And I had the setting. I knew it was going to be. So Butterfly Bay is loosely based on Seaside Park, New Jersey. And that house is real. I mean, there's that house in Seaside Park that I just happen to covet. I think it's the most beautiful house. And
is that the house on the cover?
It is the house on the cover. But that cover house is a mixture of lots of different houses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also, so that is on the bay with the bay behind. That doesn't really happen in Seaside Park.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, in my imagination, an amalgamation of a couple of different houses. But that is what I think is one of the most beautiful structures.
Oh, I love that fun fact.
Yeah.
And there's like
How
a
long did
wraparound porch and
Right.
everything.
So actually someone saw this book and reached out to me because they used to own that house and said, oh, you did it such justice.
Oh my God, that's
Mhm.
amazing.
And then the artist, her name is Katrina Eugenia. So you can go look her up on Insta.
Yeah.
And she is the most talented artist. So I give her my visions and she comes up with the artwork for it, including the butterflies that she made separately to sort of, we could move them around as we so chose.
Oh, nice. And did she do this in what? It looks like watercolor.
Yes.
Oh,
Correct.
wow. So there's
How
a
long
painting
did it
somewhere.
take you? Sorry, Priya.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
How
I'm just
long
patting
did
it
it
with the cover.
take you to craft the story in your mind and put it into paper?
Years. So what happened, Hallmark used to have a publishing division, which they've since closed. But Hallmark was publishing books and put out an open call. And the open call was for, if you wanted it to be, it could be like holiday / summertime / related romance stories. And because it was an open call, that meant I didn't have to be agented. So I had this idea to do with the summer romance. Prior to this, I did a Kentucky Hug for Christmas and also submitted that for Hallmark. So I had a contact there. Her name's Bryn Donovan, and she really liked this. So I wrote this book, Summer on Butterfly Bay. It got very high to the top of the Hallmark food chain, I guess, and ultimately was passed over. And not because there was anything wrong with it. Maybe they had another book at the time, or maybe there were too many similar characters. And I think if I could give one piece of advice to anybody listening, just don't give up. It's not a rejection of you. It's not a rejection of your work. It's just not the right thing at the right time. And Bryn and I, by the way, remained in contact, and she blurbed the book top 5 for my top 5 novel. So again, there was no bad blood. It just didn't work for her, but it didn't mean it wasn't a good book. And knowing how high it got gave me the inspiration to keep pushing forward. So many more drafts later, and, you know, me hiring another editor who could help me get it to where it needed to be. But it's
Mhm.
years in the making.
Wow. Wow. And what about your main characters, Allie and Brooker, even the little doggo? Like, were there any inspirations for them?
Well, I do have a dog, Duke, who is pretty much Kobe. I would say that's the
Inspiration there.
most, because Kobe is as spiritual as Duke, and we always give Duke a lot of personality in the house. So I would say
Aw.
that I just think they bring so much to the table, and everyone else is completely out of my own mind, totally in my
I love it.
imagination.
I love that. I see something. And so, aside from the advice that you gave us, which is so valuable, what other advice would you give an aspiring writer
So
that
I
you
also
learned from this
so
particular book?
I love the spiritual element of this book. I'm a huge believer in signs, and it's this particular book is dedicated to my dad. And I'll tell you a quick story about my dad who passed away 10 years ago. So I really feel connected to him. He loved words, he loved poetry, he loved reading, and he gave me all those gifts. And I was missing him after he passed away, and I am driving to work one morning when his favorite song comes on the radio. And
Aw.
I think it's Gordon Lightfoot, If You Could Read My Mind. And his favorite line in that
Oh, I love
song
that song.
is, heroes often fail. And he would always tell me, we don't stop, you don't make other people your heroes. And if you
Mhm.
do, remember, here they're just human. Everyone puts their pants on one leg at a time.
Yeah.
People fail, people regroup, they get up again, but heroes often fail. That was his favorite line. So I'm driving and I'm thinking about him, and I'm thinking about the song, and I'm thinking about the line. And then we get to the line and I look up, and the license plate in front of me said AAN, and those are his initials.
Oh,
And
Wow, that was your sign.
that he was with me. So I always know he's with me. So these kind of signs are very important to me. And I was sort of thinking of a vehicle to get them out to the world. Pay attention. Pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the things
Be
around you.
present.
Be
Don't
present.
be sorry. Be present.
Exactly. So it's really my homage to my dad in that respect.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So there was inspiration coming from everywhere.
Yeah, and then the other thing that I would recommend, and I adore my editor, Sarah Pesci, adore her. She comes up like this moment, the fact that people can change was this epiphany we had in our hour and a half, 2 hour talk about after she read the book. We have this huge, Zoom meeting where we're talking, and it's better than therapy because it's like therapy for your characters. All she does is talk about my characters and what they're going to do and mean and say. And
I
she all
love
of a
that.
sudden, oh, it's so
Right?
great. So great. And she says, people can change, but they have to want to. And all of
Yes.
a sudden, that was this huge aha moment. And I remember being in this phone call, like, they have to want to. So sure,
Yes.
people can change like the colors in a sunset, but they have to
Mhm.
want to. So there was this whole like concept of change going on in this book. But back to this
You
spiritual
close with that
element
line.
and Tessa in this book,
Oh, love her.
she really wanted me to take the Tessa chapters out and
Oh.
weave them into the story.
Oh, okay.
That was her advice. But at
And
the
that
end
was
of the
done
day,
beautifully.
I ended up not listening to, and
Oh,
it was
but
because I had to
Tessa's
make it
all over the book.
so I pulled all the Tessa chapters out, and
Okay.
then I rewrote them so that they would be a story in
Within
themselves.
the story.
Correct.
Right.
And then I put them back in, and I said, this is how it has to be. And since,
Okay.
like I said, I'm eager one day to work for a top 5 who tells me, yes, you can, no, you can't. But in the meantime, since I'm my own boss, I get to do it
You're
that way.
gonna do it your way.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I think Tessa was such a huge part of this because especially when they're in the water and they were kind of done looking for her, they can't find her, but then they kind of see her, and I don't know. It was beautiful. It
I
was
love
beautiful.
Tessa as
The
well.
story. Yes, I love Tessa. And I love the signs and how subtle she does things. And she's a behind the scene
Yeah.
puppeteer, you could say, because she's making magic happen
Magic.
without anybody knowing.
Yep.
Well,
It
it's
was
so
beautiful.
funny. So, you're saying that the inspiration for the characters came from your mind, but it's really you. you're injecting into this story, because you're talking about seeing signs in your everyday life and your dad and all these inspirations that you had, but you're literally creating characters who are seeing signs,
Right.
and they're
Wow.
manifesting these signs, and and they're carrying grief just like you've carried grief.
Mm.
So really, you're the
Absolutely.
inspiration,
Yeah.
and that's so
Tessa
beautiful.
would be dad in my
Yes.
eyes. Like when I see Tessa, I would think of dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that
That's
is
beautiful.
Nice.
That's beautiful. Have you ever had like feedback from a fan or someone who's read your book about the story of the characters?
I have to say, only positive. Like, and when I talk about the fact that that it was on the table to remove the Tessa chapters and then weave it in, everyone's grateful I didn't do it that way. They're grateful to have it come out the way it did. So that makes me
agree.
happy.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I
It's
agree.
perfect.
Thank you.
I completely agree. Of all the characters, would you say Tessa's your favorite, or was Brooker, or who was your favorite character?
You know,
And you cannot say KOB.
Because
Cannot be him.
that's everybody's secret favorite.
Everybody
we
loves
always
him.
root for the dog.
Yeah,
There's a funny scene. I'll tell you two funny stories. One where she gives KOB the bath for the first time, and my daughter's reading it
gosh.
like, "Oh my God, this is giving Duke a bath!" Like literally, that's how it is when Duke's getting bathed, and he looks like a chihuahua, and he's running around, pivoting all so fast after the bath. That's how our dog Duke is, who, by the way, is 18 now. So talk about
Wow.
seeing a lot. Duke has seen a lot. He's written a
Oh,
lot of books
wow.
on my shoulder.
Oh,
Wow.
that's beautiful that
Yeah,
he's
He's
that
one of your
old. I love
kids.
that.
and
Oh my God.
Mm.
and then I'll
That's
tell
so
you a funny
sweet.
story about the book where at some point the characters sort of take over in your mind, and I don't make them do things. They just do what they're going to do with or without my approval or suggestion or whatever. It's just they're in there doing their thing. So my daughter had needed a ride somewhere, so I get in the car and I'm driving Lindsay, and she's like, "What's the matter?" I said, "I am so mad at Brooker. He just did the worst thing." And she's like, "Mom, you wrote him. How can you be mad at him?"
You
Because
control the narrative, Mom.
yeah, he surprised me. He did something really stupid and he surprised me. So that was so funny. She told that little story at at an event. She's like, "That's how you know my mom is, she really isn't the writer. She's just the conduit to the way it all comes
That's
out."
it. That's a beautiful thought.
Yeah.
That
So
is
did
wonderful.
you plan the characters, or were you more of like a
No,
pantser?
no.
You're
I'm a pantser.
yes, I am totally a pan. I'm trying to organize myself a little bit, like I have boards and stuff, but like I'm totally a pantser. I have to dump it all out of my brain and my
Yeah,
spirit, and then I organize
me too.
whatever's going on.
And they sort of align you to where it's supposed to go, I think,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't really know. I never know how something's going to end. I have ideas. And like I said, I always have an inciting incident, who's going to meet whom and why.
Right.
And I do like having a unique something something. Like this book was unique something something was the Tessa chapters pulled out.
Right.
And then I wrote A Kentucky Hug for Christmas. The unique something something was that she was a songwriter. So this character in that particular book actually wrote a new country Christmas song. And the fun of that was I went into a recording studio and I had the song recorded. So that was the unique something something. And now Top 5 has a whole nother something something, which is these top 5 blog lists that start every chapter. So I always
Oh,
like unique something somethings.
I haven't
I
even cracked
love
it open
that.
yet, but since we have it in front of us,
Yeah.
Yes, I love that.
I'm just
So
gonna flip to that chapter.
we're gonna meet up again, Judy, and we're gonna talk about top 5. But just as a little preview, tell us if we loved Summer on Butterfly Bay, why are we gonna love top 5, and why should we pre-order it since it's already ready for pre-order?
Oh, it is. And I hope anyone listening does pre-order it, because pre-order is the way you get up onto these bestseller lists. You want to be on a USA Today bestseller list, a New York Times bestseller list. It's all in the pre-orders. So if you're so inclined, I hope so. It's available at all the local bookstores. But I think if you love Summer on Butterfly Bay, you're going to love Top 5 for the same it's a romance. It's a love story. At the end of the day, you are guaranteed you're happily ever after, but these characters are going to pull you through a whole lot of different raw, grief-stricken, redemptive emotions. And I think what I love about the books and what I hope everybody loves about the books is that they're genuinely real people. They're real people who make mistakes and mess up and say bad things, and they don't mean them, but they do mean them. And they're mad at their mothers and they're mad at their fathers and they're mad at themselves, like we all are sometimes.
And
And
I noticed also that they look somewhat similar. So
so
are we still in the same location?
no, it's Summer on Butterfly Bay, we're at a beach house, and in Top 5, we're at a river house. But what I do
Okay.
like is I firmly believe houses can be your characters. Like I love having the
That.
house as a character in the book.
Oh,
And I think you felt it in Butterfly Bay because that
absolutely.
house just hugged them the way it was supposed to hug them. And I feel that way about Top 5. And again, I worked with this artist, Katrina Eugenia, who brings my vision of what it should be to life. And I love when people say things like, I just want to live in that house. I just want to sit on that patio.
They look so
Mhm.
comfy and
Right?
cozy.
That
And
is,
and I'm looking at it's okay, the Top 5 cover, and I see a little animal on one of the chairs.
yeah, actually, no, those are muffins. So what we did was we planted all these seeds in top
Uh-huh.
5 things to kind of look for, including
Wow.
a basket of
Just saw
muffins,
that. I
her
just saw the table.
laptop, a geranium,
Oh,
which takes a
oh.
big spot in the book, the bicycle, and the fishing pole.
Oh, okay. Where's the bicycle?
If you,
Oh, I see the fishing
toward-
pole.
And the fishing pole, and the bicycle is a little bit covered. It's toward the back of flip it a little bit, and it's on the spine into the back.
Oh, I see
Oh, I
it.
see
Yeah.
it. And
I
so,
love that. I
So-
and I
love little
remember
things,
So
little
we
details that authors put on their books.
there
That's
was
amazing.
so the bicycle on the Summer on Butterfly Day was about the same with the basket.
Yes.
Because she uses it for
For
okay.
Kobe, yes.
Kobe.
I
So
think I'm a fan of that kind of
I think so. I think you love bikes with the basket, the wicker basket in the front.
yeah. I like Nancy Meyers movies.
Makes a lot of
Loved it.
sense.
And I love geraniums. I love everything about it, Judy. I absolutely do. I enjoyed your book so, so much. I
Mhm.
even told we chose it as one of our books of the month. So
I
this
love it.
we have 2 books, and I must
And
say
we
that
usually do one, by the way.
Oh,
So
yes,
I'm
yeah.
so
yes,
happy.
yes. And this morning, Priya's my witness, I sent a message out to our book club. We have a WhatsApp chat going, and I told them I just finished, and I sent a picture. Just finished it. 5 martinis, straight up. You
Oh,
guys have to read it. And
Yay!
we're hard on giving 5 martinis. 5
Yes,
martinis are like
they are very
they're rare.
particular.
Oh,
But
Very
this
rare.
is totally sorry, both of them are their vibe, but Summer on Butterfly Bay is our
It's gonna
book
be a
club
huge
vibe.
hit.
It's
oh,
gonna
I'm
be a huge
so
hit.
happy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Again, I'm sharing it. I know that all of our ladies are really excited about reading it. They're ordering it already. So I'm going to start reading top 5
Thank you.
and see if I can get all of them to start pre-ordering it. So we're ready
I
for
love
when you come
it.
back in July.
I love it. Thank
Excellent.
you.
Oh,
Any
you're
last
welcome.
minute things we forgot to ask that you want to share with our readers, our writers, our authors, our listeners?
I think I'll leave it with don't give up. Just keep going. Keep going. And it's all about a journey. It's not necessarily about the destination. It's about your journey and enjoying every little point of it along the way. And some of them are going to suck. They just are. So find the people around you who can sit in the muck and sit in the suck with you, and then you'll be out of it. And it's all about the journey, the highs and the lows and the whole thing that gets you where you need to be.
Oh, I love that's
Thank
beautiful.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you for your words and for bringing this beautiful story to life and for
Thank
your
you.
time and sharing it with us. We really appreciate you, and we
Yeah.
can't wait to see you again in July to
Good.
talk more about top 5.
I
But-
love it.
But before
Thank
you
so much.
go,
Oh, yes.
we have to share with our listeners and our viewers where they can find Summer on Butterfly Bay.
Well, Summer on Butterfly Bay is Amazon. So
Mhm.
you can get your print copy or your Kindle version right from Amazon. And I will say the top 5, I went on a different approach, and I'm trying to learn what they call going wide. So going wider with top 5, I published on Ingram Spark so that it could be available in every bookstore, like Walmart, like Target, like Barnes and Noble, like all your favorite indie bookstores.
And do you have a
Beautiful.
website they could check out as well?
Oh, yes. JudithNataliMcLaughlin.com.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
The whole
that's
full
the whole
name.
and follow me on Insta.
Yes.
Judith Ann McLaughlin.
I love that. I love that. And if you guys can't find it for whatever reason, just contact us and we'll share her link instantly with you. And we're going to put the information when you look down on all our information so they can find you that way. Just
Terrific.
click on in.
So
Beautiful.
to end our session today, our episode, thank you so much for being our guest.
Thank
You are simply amazing and so inspirational. As authors ourselves, we listen to everything our authors share, and what you shared today on the podcast was just so heartfelt, and we appreciate that. So cheers.
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 Salute.
Chindan.
To your success.
Thank you again, Judy.
To your success, and we can't wait to see what's next for you, although we will have you next month.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then we'll have to talk about what's in the hopper. We need to get something else going.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
I
Right?
agree.
definitely.
All
So
right, ladies.
thank you so much for listening,
So
everyone.
much fun.
Check out Judith McLaughlin online, get her books, join our book club, and follow along. Like, share, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you the next time.
We'll see you the next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.